EdvoTech Tips. How does a standard curve work? Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Danielle Snowflake and I am a scientist at EdvoTech. In today's video, we'll discuss building and using a standard curve to determine the size of DNA fragments in an agarose gel. Agarose gel electrophoresis is a biotechnology technique that uses electricity and a porous gel matrix to separate mixtures of DNA molecules into discrete bands based on their size. As the current is running, the DNA molecules move through the pores in the gel. Since it's easier for small molecules to move through the gel than larger ones, the DNA separates into bands by size, with larger molecules nearer the well and smaller molecules further down the gel. Mathematically, we say that the distance traveled is inversely proportional to the length of the DNA fragment. Larger fragments move a smaller distance. However, the speed that each fragment travels is not equal. Smaller molecules travel much faster than larger ones, creating a nonlinear relationship between the size and migration. Therefore, the migration distance is inversely proportional to the log base 10 of the fragment length. On each gel, we run a DNA ladder alongside our experimental samples. The ladder contains a series of DNA fragments of known molecular weight. We measure and plot the migration of each band in our DNA ladder, and then we add a best fit line. Once complete, this standard curve lets us calculate the size of each experimental sample. So let's try it. I'm going to load the DNA samples from our CRISPR experiment, Kit 135, into a 0.8% agarose gel. I'm going to close the lid and turn on the current in the blue light so that we can watch our DNA fragments travel through the gel. I'm using the EdvoTech Edge, which combines the electrophoresis chamber with the power supply and the blue light source. I'm going to use this printout in today's video so that I can write on here and make my measurements more obvious for the camera. Your students can take their measurements right from the gel, or they can snap a picture and use it like I am. The advantage is that they can take the data home and do the analysis for homework. The picture can then be taped into the lab notebook. Let's begin building our standard curve by measuring the distance traveled by each fragment in our DNA ladder in millimeters. I measure from the lower edge of the sample weld to the lower edge of each band. We record the value in our lab notebook. We'll also measure and record the distance that each of the bands in our experimental samples travel. Next, we plot the distance that each DNA fragment in the ladder traveled in millimeters on the x-axis versus its size in base pairs on the y-axis. The scale of the vertical axis appears uneven. The distance between the numbers shrinks as the axis progresses from 100 to 1,000 base pairs, and then again from 1,000 to 10,000. This is because the axis is logarithmic, so it is doing the log base 10 calculation for us. After all the points have been plotted, use a straight edge to draw a straight line through the points. The line should have approximately equal numbers of points scattered on each side of the line. It's okay if the line runs through some points. Congratulations, this is your standard curve. To determine the length of each unknown fragment, first locate the migration distance of the unknown fragment on the x-axis of your graph. Draw a vertical line extending from that point until it intersects the line of your standard curve. From the point of intersection, draw a second line, this time horizontally, towards the y-axis. The value at which this line intersects the y-axis represents the approximate size of your DNA fragment in base pairs. Make note of this in your lab notebook. Repeat for each fragment in your unknown sample. You can use technology to make your standard curve. The free program ImageJ can be used to make measurements, and Microsoft Excel can be used to create your standard curve graph. Be sure to check out our quick guide on this topic, which I'll link to in the video description. When making your graph, it's important to set your y-axis to logarithmic and your trend line to exponential, so that you get a linear trend line. The results you generate will still be valid if you don't do this, but it's much easier to use the graph if you change these settings. Just remember, when creating a standard curve, the ladder must be on the same gel as the samples you're analyzing. This is because running conditions like time and voltage, as well as the percent agarose of the gel, affect the migration of the DNA fragments. Comparing the ladder on one gel and bands on a second would skew your results. So in this video, we discussed creating a standard curve from the DNA ladder that we run on our electrophoresis gel. I know this can be tricky, so I really hope this video helps you the next time you perform this STEM activity. Thanks for watching our video. We pride ourselves on providing the highest quality customer service for our teachers. Call, email, or send us a message on social media.